There we go. Yeah, so we are back with good old Tyrion Cuthbert. It has been, we can literally see here. Wait. This is the 17th was the last time I played. So it's been a couple of weeks. Alright, let me try reacquaint myself with what is actually happening. So, where to start? So there's a murder. Who would have guessed? At a magical academy that this is where we're standing right now. The professor. In fact, there's. Pretty sure there's, yeah. So, there we go. Catherine Bellwether, professor. She died. This guy Wallace is being accused because he's a necromancer, and there's traces of necromancy on her body, and he has a pretty good motive for wanting her dead, with her being a giant asshole. Everybody is in agreement on that. It's just funny. There's twins. They found the body. Jan was the one who interacted with her last before she was dead, kind of. I think she said something like "get out of my way" or something about that. Eris Illmatter, she's evil. I don't trust this woman at all, in the least. Yes, the headmaster, and everybody else is kind of same from the last time. Celeste is our bodyguard, know that. Ooh, oh, shoot, one sec. Wait, we back. Right. So, I was saying. Yep, Celeste is our bodyguard. Ruby is also here. Arya is the actual prosecutor on the case. And Orms is still the detective slash knight inquisitor who's dealing with this. We were talking to Jan? Yeah, we talked to him about everything. I don't know if we presented everything. I'm gonna assume that past me did. And try and continue on despite that. So that's the murder scenes. The headmaster's been there. We've been to the kitchen. The foyer is like the I don't know what to do. Come here spot. So I think we just go to the barracks. Yeah, there we go. It's over. My life is over. Yeah, sadness. Hello, Wallace. What do you want? Relax, kid. It's less than Tyrion. We have a library, remember? How you doing? Apparently not well. Please tell me you're gonna get me out of here. I keep telling them I didn't do it. They still won't let me go. Sorry, Wallace, but they found traces of necromancy magic on the body. So that they're gonna push your case to trial. They're gonna execute me. You know, This can't be happening. I can feel these walls closing in. I can't breathe. Calm down, we know you're innocent. Sand, would you let me represent you in court? You're aware. I don't really have money to pay you with. Yep. What do you mean, don't worry about that? Like, here's the thing. Regardless of whether or not he had the money to pay us, I'd still say to do it, but we gotta, like, figure out some sort of compensation here. Let's focus on you getting acquitted. What? They seriously want to help me. Oh. They want something from me, but... Oh. I think I have anything else left to lose. It's not exactly the reaction you were expecting. At least he's cooperating. That's not your alibi. I don't understand. I was with you in the library the entire time. Why do they still think I'm the murderer? Makes no sense unless you told the Inquisition, right? You told them I'm innocent. What did they frame me? We did, but as we said before, there are traces of necromancy on the body. With the state of the body, they believe that she was murdered with a necromancy spell. Apparently, that makes you their prime suspect. I see. Your spell compendium. I know you destroyed it, but you gotta let us get it. Also, we heard about the type of magic that you're studying. But don't worry, Headmaster explained it to us already. You just want to use necromancy to become a doctor, right? I understand you have reservations about talking about your magic, but in order to build a case for you, I need your spell compendium. I don't have one. I know, Arist already told us about that. So she gave us a blank one for you to attune to. Do I have to? Yes. It's your life on the line. We need this. We need all the information we can get to help you. Alright, I'll tune to it. All suspended compendiums add to your notes. Suspend compendium. Contains the formulas for the following spells: Prestidigitation, Mend Wounds, Illusionary Disguise, Revive, Animate Corpse, and Necrotic Blight. Animate Corpse is a little... Yep, Prestidigitation. Mend Wounds. Menace. Necromancy. Duration 1 minute. Use the token to magically heal health, leaving any scars or bruises. Spell can't restore missing limbs, nor can it revive someone who's already died. Illusory Disguise. Illusion Lucio. Less than an hour. Puts illusion on the target to completely change their visual appearance. Disguise moves with the target for the duration. Disguise to make the target look 1 foot larger or smaller. Elements hidden by the spell are made invisible. Elements created by the spell are purely visual. You cannot make physical contact with it. Let's revive, Vivify. Instant. Fills the target with life energy and attempt to resuscitate them. Does not heal wounds sustained. Results may vary, but it cannot resurrect someone who's been dead for more than a minute. Animate Corpse. Necromancy Necros. Duration 8 hours. Reanimates the target using life energy, creating an undead minion for the duration. The minion follows the caster's orders, but its intelligence is limited and it cannot speak. The minion can end the spell prematurely, but will only do so if ordered to by the caster. Once the spell is ended, the undead will return to being a dead body. Chronic Blight, Necromancy, Blighto, point to index finger. It's instant. Pulls all the life energy from the target, resulting in instant death. The spell does not wound the target, nor does it leave any physical evidence, but it still leaves a magical trace. This is crazy. What is the range on that? Like, what? I understand the reason why he's studying this type of magic. Spells in this compendium are still pretty gruesome. It's a little terrifying that spells like this even exist. Can't imagine. Especially for like a fucking teenager. Sorry, I know I was being difficult. A time ago, I showed my companion to someone I trusted. After she saw my necromancy spells, she told everyone in the academy. It's also when Professor Bellwether started coming after me. So it's been hard for you. At least you had Eris. Yeah, I did. Oh boy. Alright, so Wallace and Eris. How did you and Eris become friends anyway? This has also been happening. Whenever Eris comes up, Celeste is like, ugh. And it's weird. Another hint of fear from her. Fear's related to Eris. I assume so. I don't blame her, she's fucking weird. It's a bit of a strange story. The other students would steal the ID number off my locker. And switch it with the one on another locker. That was funny whenever the owner got angry with me. I had a bit of a reputation around our school, I'm not sure why, but everyone was scared of her. Even the students from the nobility. Let me do some basis rumors. One day, someone switched my nameplate with hers. I was so scared when she appeared. When she approached me, I couldn't even say anything. But she didn't get angry like the others. She just apologized and gave me back my nameplate. After that, she randomly started talking to me whenever she saw me. We became friends after that. It's nice. It's a good thing he was able to find a friend in a place like that. Necromancy. So I have to ask. It's causing you so much trouble. Why are you still studying necromancy? What to use to become a doctor? Right. You could become a doctor normally. But I understand what you're going for. The headmaster told us the same thing. You could have just stopped after learning the healing spells. Why are you learning spells that can steal people's life force and raise undead? The two sides of the same coin. It's the key principle behind necromancy. The first undead was actually a failed attempt to resurrect a human using magic. Right now, basic necromancy can only heal injuries and wounds, but it can't do anything for diseases or deformities. If I could just keep studying, I know that I can create a new type of necromancy. One that can cure diseases and save lives. He specifically wants to cure diseases. Something happened to motivate him. Something happened to motivate him that much. Catherine Bellwether. I think I already guessed the answer to this question. So I'm getting messaged. Okay, I'll check that in a sec. I think I already... How was your relationship with Catherine Bellwether? It's exactly what you'd expect. Yep. We got out about what I was studying. Professor Bellwether would always target me. She'd start yelling at me for the small mistakes. She'd do the same to some of the other students too. She'd focus on the ones that were poor like me. Wake up each day, dreading the possibility that she'd notice me in the hallways. I know how to avoid her and stay out of her way. But sometimes, she'd just come looking for me. I can't believe that everything that she did, she's just gone. Some mixed emotions about what happened. I also don't know how I feel about it. To be honest, I always wish she would just disappear. Now it's finally happened, I just feel even more afraid. Feels like she's gonna come back from the grave to haunt me. With Bellwether gone, his trauma will still probably linger. Yep. I think I'm starting to put things together now. Figure something out. I should take some time to think through everything. Alright, music. Prosecution wants to implicate Wallace despite his alibi. They wouldn't have a reason to do this unless the evidence heavily implicated him. How's the evidence implicate Wallace? We learned that Wallace is a necromancer. He's the only person in the academy that's capable of high-level necromancy. Hopefully that fucking necrotic blight spell was supposed to be high-level, because she's a magical trace of necromancy was found on the body. Trace necromancy on the body. This means that they think that Wallace used one of his necromancy spells. Even without seeing the trace, it's pretty obvious that the magic was used on the body. Sorry. I need to actually respond to this now. Okay. It's pretty obvious the magic was used on the body. Because there aren't any wounds on it. Alright. The autopsy before, but no signs of poison or disease. She probably has a theory on which spell he might have used. Probably argue that Wallace used one of the spells to kill Bellwether. Necrotic Blight. Say he used Necrotic Blight. Makes sense. Necrotic Blight would have drained the life force from her body. Here's a pool of blood for Catherine Bellwether. One is strange because she wouldn't have been wounded by Necrotic Blight. True. So that doesn't make any sense. That's where the contradiction lies. It's supposed that Wallace did kill Bellwether using Necrotic Blight. There's something at the crime scene that wouldn't be there if that were true. Are you serious? I mean, like, we just... It's found in blood. What? Was covered in blood? What? So probably argue that Wallace used Necrotic Blight, but there really didn't. There's something on the body that shouldn't be there. Bellwether's body was found in blood? Was covered in blood? Okay. Gotta be very specific. Doesn't inflict any visible wounds. Shouldn't have been any blood on the body. Then what really happened? That's the last piece. If I had to guess, the information we need is being hidden by one of the witnesses who discovered the body. Yeah, Valentina was being weird. Her and her twin. She's definitely hiding something. You notice how she acted when I asked you to scan the room. She ran away, she didn't even try to be subtle about it. She may have been trying to hide herself from your detect magic. She only mean that there's a magical trace on her. What she's trying to hide. One way to find out. Next time you see her, could you subtly cast detect magic and scan her? Alright. So how else did you talk to her? Valerie also mentioned that they still had work to do today. Should be back in the Academy's kitchen by now. Alright. Enjoy prison, Wallace. We gotta go talk to one of these twins. Oh, it's Valentina. Cleaning done. There she is. Use the tech magic to scan her from here. Alright, just don't shout the incantation like you are. In the back of my mind, I was thinking about it. She shouts it, so like, wouldn't she? I know that. Right, here goes. Imperio Arcanum. What the? What is it? It's a trace of magic on her. Which, yeah, makes sense. So which school of magic is it? And it's necromancy. It's a trace of necromancy on her. Still not sure how this fits in with everything. For now, let's talk to her and see if we can get more information out of her. If all fails, we can confront her with the evidence that we have. It's you two again. They're back? Yes. Fortunate for her, that won't work this time, yeah. It's hard to do is repeat what I told them last time. No. So you get... Do you know that there's a trace of necromancy on Bellwether's body? So he used to kill the professor, right? A necromancy spell? It's a thing. If that were true, a lot of evidence we found doesn't make sense. I think someone else cast a spell on the body. Oop. It's possible that you saw someone use magic on Bellwether. Now, there's no way they know. Definitely not. Her thoughts are an open book now. If you beat her in an argument, her thoughts might show you what she's hiding. Alright. 1v1 me in an argument. Because there's more that she's letting on. She found the body alongside her sister and reacted strangely when you mentioned someone may have used magic on the body. What is she hiding? Either her or her sister used magic on the body. That's like the most obvious conclusion. To be honest, from the very beginning, I felt like you've been hiding something from us. Something that you're not telling us about. What are you talking about? My conscience is clear. Told you in the nights everything I know. I've got nothing to hide. Stay calm. Claims that contradict the displayed emotion. Claims that contradict thoughts. Contradict a piece of evidence. So we have no evidence about like her conscience being clear. So get rid of logic. So it's intuition or empathy. So like you need to stay calm, indicating that you are not currently calm and your conscience is not indeed clear. So intuition. She's saying what you're thinking are completely different. Oh fuck. I don't really know what you're talking about, but it's telling the truth. So empathy. I can practically see the fear you're emanating right now. Just tell us the truth. It'd be a lot easier for the both of us. Say I were hiding something, which I'm not, by the way. I don't have to tell you anything. Why should I tell you anything? I know my rights. I think threaten is the way to go here. I've already given your testimony to the Inquisition. If the truth comes out, what do you think they'll do when they realize you lied to them? Or are you protecting Messianas? You took a big game, but I bet you can't actually prove anything, can you? Combined to protect someone? I don't know anyone who can use magic. I don't even know any mages. I definitely didn't see anyone use magic on the body. Well, you clearly do. Can't hide the truth from us, Messianas. You said you've never seen a necromancy spell before. If that were true, then why is there a trace of necromancy on you? What? Got him. Trace of necromancy on me? She don't know about the spell that was cast on her. Yeah, she doesn't... She didn't know about the trace. She wouldn't have avoided... yeah. So she just doesn't know that it's in necromancy? Successfully argued against Valentinianus. Yay. This is crazy. Why is there a trace of necromancy on me? Am I gonna die? Am I gonna become a zombie? She's really unaware that a spell was cast on her. Or is she playing dumb? She said someone used magic on her, but she doesn't know the spell that was... She doesn't know that that spell was necromancy. Spell cast on Valentina, it healed her. I'm thinking that her sister is the mage and she just healed her at some point for some reason. I'm to be honest. Not all necromancy spells relate to the undead. Healing spells are also from the school of necromancy. Healing spells. Oh, it was from that time she healed that cut. There you go. She knows the magic, studies healing magic. Person be a student here. Sorry, I just remember that there's something else I have to do. I'll be right back. She ran away again. You could definitely catch her. Yeah, they're not gonna take... If the Inquisition is still stationed around, they're not gonna take kindly to this chasing witnesses around. Weren't able to learn anything. Well, no. Excuse me. I did learn one thing. She has a friend who casts a healing spell on her. How did you figure that out? Good deductive reasoning. Wow. It's a form of necromancy, right? I guess that explains the trace on her. It's a good thing we know Wallace. Otherwise, we might have also thought that a necromancer was trying to kill her. Wait a minute. That's it. I don't know what he figured out. Why did he figure something out? This whole time, I'm wondering why there's a trace of necromancy on the body. It's because someone attacked Bellwether with a necromancy spell. It's because someone used necromancy in an attempt to heal her. I see. No matter what type of necromancy spell someone uses, spells from the same school of magic leave the same type of trace. Just that the body clearly has blood on it. How does someone use the healing spell on a wounded body? Close all that body's wounds. Yep. Interrogating Valentina might have been a dead end, but it still gave us just what we needed to win this case. So sure, that was a dead end. What do you mean? It's not that suspicious that she has someone to heal her if she's injured herself. But if it's only that, why would she go to so much trouble to hide it? It's too coincidental. The wounds on the body were healed by an unknown person, and the person who found the body is hiding the identity of a healer. They have to be the same person. Does that make sense? So what do we do now? Valentina is definitely on to us. I doubt we'll get a third chance to speak with her. Hopefully, what we have now is enough to acquit Wallace. Done everything you can. Learn to poke holes in the prosecution's case. If that doesn't work, you can drag Valentina onto the witness stand and pull the truth out of her. You just hope that what she's hiding is enough to acquit Wallace. Who the hell? You remind me of Weiss from Ruby. I hope you... Well, you said spoiled brat, so maybe you just might be like... Also, one sec, I gotta... move my chair. Wait. Right, yeah. You do say spoiled brat, so... There's a good chance that you could be like... Volume 1 Weiss. I don't know why you're still holding... And you even have a rapier, I didn't even catch that. It's a precious family heirloom and I want it back. It's evidence in the current case. Ooh. Evidence. The professor was killed with necromancy. Was she, though? Why are you asking me? You're the one who's investigating. It's a rhetorical question. Suppose it doesn't matter. Just know that I will bring her murderer to justice, no matter who it may be. Okay. Alright, it's time for the trial. Take deep breaths and relax. Hello, Tyrion. Yeah, very relaxed. You come on me like that. You're so nervous. It's not as if it's your first time defending someone. Exactly. By this point, you should be kind of fine. I can't help it. Something about this building that just fills me with anxiety. But... yeah, there we go. It's too bad Ruby couldn't make it. I'd say that you should calm down for Wallace's sake, but there's so many people here. And they're all staring at me. Their eyes are prying into me like a pack of flesh-eating maggots. Gross. Don't worry, Wallace. Our investigation revealed a lot of weaknesses in the prosecution's case. We have a strong case for your acquittal. Wait. See, you can be confident when you want to be. It's strange. Something is calming about Wallace's anxiety. It's like he just absorbs the tension out of you and into himself. Court is now in session for the trial of Wallace and Nightgrave. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready. Very well, let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor, could you please list the charges? Student at Wyverngard Imperial Academy. Nightgrave is charged with first-degree murder, negligent misuse of the arcane arts, and illegal practice of advanced necromancy. Yeah. Get all your I'm afraid of necromancers out. Defendant is a necromancer? Can't believe it. A necromancer? In this day and age? How could the kingdom let this happen? Your Honor, I would like to remind the court that they should view my client objectively. Of course, but we can easily see it from the list of charges. Necromancy plays a large role in the charges. Indeed, the crime occurred within the academy this morning. The victim is Catherine Bellwether, a professor at the school. Though there were no witnesses, traces of necromancy were detected on the body. Furthermore, the autopsy report shows that the body has no physical wounds. Whew. It's the only time I magic that harm individual without physically wounding them. So I assume that Steelwind here reached the same conclusion that we did, which is why the fuck is there blood if a necromancy spell was used? That doesn't make any sense. But she's gonna let it play out to that point, and we'll see where it goes from there. They're saying the alchemist report shows no signs of poison or disease. Therefore, one can only conclude that a necromancer had committed the crime. As many of you know, necromancy is held under high scrutiny by the Crown. Aside from the defendant, no other students were permitted to learn advanced necrotic magic. As such, the defendant was the only mage in the building capable of committing the murder. See, certainly compelling evidence. To properly present our case, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orm White to the stand. Welcome back, Orm. White, please testify to the court about the Inquisition's findings. Yeah. Witness testimony. Started when the City Watch got a call from the Imperial Academy. Someone was attacked, and the whole building was put on lockdown. Yep. We set up a perimeter around the area and waited for the lockdown system to deactivate. Following onto the building, the prosecutor personally inspected the body and detected traces of necromancy on it. There were no cuts or bruises on the body either. The entire body was clean. With those two pieces of evidence, we concluded that it could only be the necromancer kid that did it. Yep. Already found and identified the holes in Steelwind's case. All you have to do is find that hole in the commander's testimony. Begin your cross-examination. Right, so like this is... let's press this actually. Well, and the next one. Why did the prosecutor inspect the body instead of the Inquisition? Well, how I conduct the investigation is irrelevant to the proceedings. I think it's at least a little relevant. Not really your job. Would you like to insinuate that I'm not as competent as Commander White? I'm just saying that it's not your job. You don't question her competency, but it's still a bizarre decision on her part, yeah. Court admits the prosecutor's actions are unorthodox. We see no reason to question the prosecutor's abilities. Thank you, Your Honor. My entire body was clean. I think this is the one we gotta actually present on, but we're gonna hit this first. How carefully was the body checked? Perhaps the prosecution missed something. The coroner couldn't find even the smallest cut, bruise, or fracture on the body. Furthermore, the alchemist report showed no signs of poison or disease. The coroner was actually astounded at how unscathed the body was. Makes sense, if someone used mend wounds on the body, it would have healed even the most minor of injuries. How do you prove that? Easily. Like, it's like, why is there blood? Seemed neglected to mention one key detail of the crime scene. Yeah, what's that? During your testimony, you said that the entire body was clean. I will admit that there weren't any wounds on the body. However, the body was certainly not clean. Yeah, like she expected this. The scene of the crime, there was a large pool of blood located where the body was. This does not feel like a win. This feels like us telling the teacher that we know that 2 + 2 = 4. Blood came from the victim's body, and it was definitely not clean like the commander testified. Sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but I fail to see the significance of this. I'd like to remind the court of the prosecution's case against my client. They're accusing me of murdering the victim using necrotic blight, a spell which would not have physically wounded the victim. So why was there any why was there any blood at all? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The fact still stands. There were no wounds on the body, nor were there any reports of poison or disease on the autopsy. There are clearly magical elements in this case. Yeah, but Catherine Belder was bleeding profusely at some point. How else would there be a bloodstain on the body? You have an explanation for that, Miss Steelwind? No. I'll admit the prosecution doesn't have an explanation for that. While I do find the circumstances questionable, all other evidence clearly points to the defendant. Which spell would leave a trace of necromancy? I'm glad you asked. I'd like to present a spell that could have left a trace of necromancy on the body. Mend wounds. Yep. If I'm wrong, but it's not a healing spell. That's correct, Your Honor. A spell from the same school of necromancy can control the forces of death and life. Mend wounds is in fact a necromancy spell. Really? I feel like, seeing as you're the judge that handles all the magical cases, like you should know this. This shouldn't be a surprise to you at all, of all people. Now, I'd like the court to consider the following. What would happen if Miss Bellwether was wounded and someone attempted to heal her using mend wounds? All her wounds would disappear from her body. I see.
Objection!
Okay. Honestly think that I'm that incompetent. Mr. Cuthbert, I'm just pointing out, we have to do this. Frankly, I'm a little insulted. The Inquisition is well aware of what happens when a mage attempts to save a victim using mend wounds. The heroes arrived at the scene already confirmed that the victim was long dead. None of them attempted to heal her. Well, what if someone attempted What if someone tried to heal her and didn't report it? Please. None of the healers would have done any would have anything to gain by doing so. In fact, as a necromancer, the defendant could have easily carried out the described scenario. He cast mend wounds at the victim after murdering her to confound the investigation. I guess, at the end of the day, the burden of proof is on you. Just find out who healed the body, this case is yours. Whoever this healer is, Valentina definitely knows her. Can we, like, call her to the stand, or her sister? Your Honor, I'll admit that I don't have any evidence to support my theory. However, I do believe that we can bring it to light. There may have been two people that witnessed someone cast magic on the body. Valentina and Valerianis, the sisters who discovered the body. This is nonsense. We've already questioned those two witnesses extensively. If they had witnessed something like that, it would have come up in their testimony. If that's true, then you have nothing to lose by hearing their testimonies. Very well. If you're so confident, let's hear the witness testimony. Seems the prosecution has no objections. However, if this line of questioning leads nowhere, I'll see no reason to further prolong this trial. Do you understand, Mr. Cuthbert? Of course, Your Honor. Crap, it's that guy from before. Is he the necromancer's? I mean, if you had just talked to us, you would have gained this knowledge. She just got on the stand and she's already stressed out. This could work in your favor. Please state your name and occupation for the courts. My name? There's no need to be so nervous. We merely want to hear about what you saw on the day of the murder. Alright, it's just that guy over there, Mr. Cuthbert? Did this man harass you, witness? Wait a minute. Yeah. He, like, super harassed me. How shameful. Expect a member of the justice system to be more professional. This is bullshit. Don't laugh at me. Oh, shut up. Please state your name and occupation for the court, Miss Giannis. Calm down, he can't prove anything. Valentina Giannis, I'm a member of the kitchen staff at the Wyverngard Imperial Academy, if I can speak. As I recall, you were one of the witnesses who discovered the body. Apparently the defense finds your involvement suspect. Yeah, be afraid. Rest assured, Mrs. Giannis. In this courtroom, you will be protected from Mr. Cuthbert's harassment. Please testify to the court on what happened that day. Yeah. Witness testimony. Walking with my sister in the West Wing when we noticed something in a nearby classroom. I was over to see what it was. That's when we saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. My sister tried her best to help her, but the professor had already lost a lot of blood. When my sister did that, I used an emergency communication device to call for help. But it was too late. By the time her bleeding stopped, she already lost too much blood. She's lied her testimony, yeah. Let's improve that somehow. Begin your cross-examination. Yes. She says her sister. How did she try to help? She tried to help her? Miss Giannis, how exactly did your sister try to help Miss Bellwether? Oh, what? Yeah, you did slip up. I was like, that's... Use first aid to try and stop the bleeding. I see. Could you please add that detail to your testimony? Sure. Yeah, and this literally doesn't make any sense. Because they found her bleeding, but then when the prosecution and the Inquisition arrived, she didn't have any wounds. Like, supposed to use a first aid kit? Yeah, it was covered in our training when we first started working. While no one was around, I guess the headmaster wanted to make sure we were prepared. A device. It's an artificial device that allows for long-range communication. Some of those devices are placed around the school for use during an emergency. I see. So who did you contact? I wasn't sure, honestly. I hear a lot of people talking on the other end. What? The device broadcast to the headmaster's office and the city watch. Ew, and the city watch barracks. That's why the headmaster was able to activate the lockdown so quickly. I see. But how did the bleeding stop? It's been a difficult experience for both of you. She blames herself for not being able to save her. We didn't like Professor Bellwether, but we still didn't want her to die. Fair. She seems sincere when she says that. I don't see any dissonant thoughts through the eye either. Okay. So obviously, it's one of those. Is that new statement or the last statement? It's hard to figure out which part she might be lying about. There has to be a contradiction here somewhere. Your theory is that Valentina saw someone use men wounds on Bellwether. She focused on the statements that described how they both interacted with her. Yeah, like, if you did use first aid, then, like, where's the cuts and the bruises? Sorry, I didn't, like, I should be saying out my reasoning before I actually present it, but, like, I mean, I felt that was really obvious. What's the meaning of this? And I said objection, and she's fucking taking it over. Okay. Why are you looking at me like that? Maybe I could elaborate, Miss Giannis. You weren't present in the galley earlier, were you? No, I was waiting in the lobby. Lady Steelman told me to wait there, cause her ass knew that we should get to this point. Well, I suppose I should consider myself lucky. You see, Miss Giannis, one key element of the case is that the body didn't have any wounds on it. Yeah, so? So, please explain to the court, Miss Giannis. How does Valerie apply first aid when there shouldn't have been any wounds on the body? No, I screwed up. I saw that wound under what happens. There's clearly something amiss here. I'm afraid I don't fully understand the implications of this. Are you accusing the witness of committing perjury, Mr. Cuthbert? When someone lies, they say as close to the truth as possible while changing minute details. In her thoughts, Valentina said that she was sure that she saw a wound on the on Bellwether. And she also mentioned that Valerie was the one that tried to save the professor. If she didn't try to save Bellwether with first aid, could she have used magic instead? Her sister could be the mage that you're looking for. The witness was lying, Your Honor. But not about everything. Valerie Ennis did try to save the victim's life by addressing her wounds. But she didn't use first aid. She used magic. Found us out. I mean, you're pretty shit.
Objection!
Theory is completely flawed. What? It's quite simple. We've already verified that neither of the sisters are mages. What? Oh, we're actually fucked then. I don't really know where I don't know where the case goes from here. How can you be so sure? We have both the Giannis sisters attuned to a spell compendium. Standard procedure for the Inquisition when interviewing witnesses. And that means it's correct. Neither of the Giannis sisters could attune to a compendium. That's right. The Inquisition checked us both. Neither of us are mages. So she is a mage. Her sister's a mage. So how the fuck did you guys trick? Orm, what did you do? No. Can't be right. Yeah. That means that you were on the right track. Valerie has to be the mage you're looking for. No, it just needs to be on their person. The rest of the Inquisition also made me attuned to one of their spell compendiums. They're really careful to make sure that it did the attunement correctly. There's no way a mage could avoid attuning to a compendium with them watching you. Right, Commander White may be negligent sometimes, but even he isn't that careless. After done, I do believe that you've exhausted all your options. But wait, still not done cross-examining the witness. You possibly hope to glean from her testimony. We're gonna use the eye on her this early. Can't exactly say you're planning to read her mind. So one key element of her testimony that the court is overlooking. Roy has attorney to complete my cross-examination. Your Honor, the defense is clearly trying to buy time. We are. I may be compelled to agree with you. However, I'll submit that some elements of the witness's testimony are quite peculiar. I'll allow the defense to perform one more cross-examination. That was close. This is your last chance, Mr. Cuthbert. If you produce nothing substantial, I will pass my verdict. Of course, Your Honor. Alright, it's all or nothing. If you can't find anything by reading her mind, this whole case is finished. Please give your testimony once more. Damn it, how long does he plan to keep me up? As long as it takes. I rushed over to her. I was definitely surprised when I saw her like that. I don't know if I saw any wounds on her, but I definitely saw blood. I can't go back on that now. I just need to play dumb. My sister tried to save her, but she didn't use any magic. Valerie, you're too kind-hearted for your own good. Neither of us is a mage. Both of us held that book the knight gave us. I was caught off guard when they asked us. They almost found us out. Panda was watching us the whole time. He can confirm it. Good thing that we're twins, or else that trick wouldn't have worked. Pretty hard to prove that Valerie isn't a mage. He's the mage for, I'm sure of it. I'm just not sure why they felt the need to lie to the Inquisition. More importantly, how did they trick the Inquisition? I am very curious to see how Orm fucked this up. It's a good thing that they're twins. Did you pull some kind of trick to deceive the Inquisition while attuning, Mr. Giannis? Of course not. We know that lying to the Inquisition would get us in trouble. Why would either of us take a risk like that? Living as an unregistered mage is a serious crime. If Valerie was a mage, then you would have been in charge with the fraud right then and there. Yeah, but we already proved that neither of us are mages. The eye seems to differ. A thread to pull on. How the twins tricked. Yeah. So it's just, I need to interpret the last one. I know, game. I just wanted extra context. See, honest, your thoughts betray you. What? You found the thought. I must have done something, but what? Must have happened when Commander White was interrogating them. Okay, Orm was the one that collected their statements. Did he notice anything off about their behavior? From what he said, they had a few quirks. Nothing too suspicious. Yeah, quirks. He told me that they were running and spinning around him during questions. Oh, also, hello, blue dude. Sorry. This is indeed a Ace Attorney spinoff. Boy. Well, it's not. Well, it's not an Ace Attorney spinoff. It's an Ace Attorney, like, wrong word. Clearly inspired, and Thank you for the compliment on Avatar. Much appreciated. He told me that they were running and spinning around during questioning. So his ass, you didn't keep your eyes on them the entire time. You let them run around the goddamn interrogation room and trick you. So I'm guessing that Valentina attuned to 2 spell compendiums. What does that mean? I have no idea. Perhaps they were still on edge after finding their coworker murdered. Running and spinning. I think they were twins. The twins tricked the Inquisition. Would have worked if they weren't twins. Valentina switched places with Valerie. Of course they switched places. Valentina attuned to the first spell compendium. Then she pretended to be Valerie to attune to the second one. Commander White couldn't tell the difference between them. Sienna's, there's something I want to confirm. During the investigation, both you and Valerie attuned to a spell compendium. Am I correct? Yeah, then I watched us do it. And how did he have you do this? Did you both attune to those compendiums at the same time? Or did you attune one after another? Does he know what we did? Yeah. Fail to see how that makes any difference, Mr. Cuthbert. No. Regardless of what order they went in. Yeah, sure. You'll be aware of this, Your Honor. But Valentina and Valerianus are identical twins, which means that their physical appearance are nearly identical to each other. If Commander White didn't have them attune at the same time, what would stop the twins from switching places with each other? Yeah, we got you. It's clearly nothing but baseless conjecture. One wouldn't fail at such a basic task. Really? Prosecutor Steelwind? Do you find it hard to believe that Commander White would fail at a task like this? We're disrespecting him heavily. Her silence speaks volumes. Wait a minute, this is crazy. We didn't trick the Inquisition. My sister and I are not mages. Then prove it, Mr. Giannis. Bring in your sister and we'll have you attuned to 2 spell compendiums at the same time. Oh, wait. Oh, Horm, you fucking idiot. Bailiff, escort Valerie Giannis to the sand and bring 2 unattuned spell compendiums. There's Valerie. Last 10 minutes. There's no way they can fake it in front of this many people. It's the moment of truth. I hope that your theory is correct. Oh, did he seriously? What is it? Prosecutor Steelwind. What do you see? Yeah. The Francisco ass pose. What I see is Commander White seeking new employment in the near future. It appears that the defense was correct. Valerie Giannis isn't a mage. Well, Valentina Giannis isn't a mage, but Valerie Giannis is. What's more, Valerie Giannis' compendium contains the Mend Wound spell, which makes the defense's theory entirely plausible. Please just allow me to explain. We should allow you to explain what, exactly. You're an unregistered mage, and you and your sister have made fools out of all of us with your perjury. How would you know what it's like, Lady Steelwind? What? You think we didn't notice your name? You're not like us. You don't have to hide. Whatever. This whole situation has gotten out of hand. I didn't think hiding it would cause so much trouble. It's a murder case. What do you mean you didn't think it would cause so much trouble? I won't let someone go to prison because of me, even if he is a necromancer. Fuck you. Please let me testify about what I saw. Tell you what really happened that day. Very well. Understand that there will be repercussions for your actions, witness. Yeah. My sister and I were walking in the hallway from the kitchen to the foyer. suddenly spotted the professor lying in a pool of blood in a nearby classroom. Valentina used a communication device to call help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast mend wounds on her to close her wounds. But it was too late. I closed the hole in her stomach, but she was already dead. Yeah, it's a hole in her stomach. As you can clearly see from the witness's testimony, the trace of necromancy was left by the witness, not my client. What's more, it's clear there was a physical wound on the body. I see, well, his words trail off. He clearly doesn't want to pass a verdict when there's no clear culprit. But he has no choice. The case against Wallace is predicated on Bellwether being killed by necromancy. With Valerie's testimony, the prosecution doesn't have a shred of evidence implicating him. Okay, well, the court sees no reason to prolong this trial. Alright, here comes Arya with that fucking rapier. These new developments, the court has no choice but to find Wallace died grave not. Objection! And I saw it coming a mile away. The court is ignoring one key detail of the witness's testimony. What would that be, Miss Steelwind? Let's re-examine the testimony. Valentina used the communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast mend wounds on her to close her wounds. But it was too late. I closed the hole in her stomach, but she was already dead. Marks the time of day during each use. Valentina used the device at 3:04 p.m. Which is an hour after the time of death. Where are you going with this? Mr. Cuthbert, there was a witness who saw the victim before the body was found. Jen Hughes. He, along with another witness, spotted Bellwether walking in the hallways before the body was found. Yeah. He was the last person to see her, but she just said another person, which is new. It's cleaning the halls. Bellwether knocked over a vase. There were shards of dirt everywhere. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body. Oh, she was dead an hour ago, but she was seen alive 20 and 30 minutes. Fuck. That can't be right. Bellwether died more than an hour before the body was found. So how did Jane see her half an hour after her death? I wonder, Mr. Cuthbert, how could one make a dead body move and walk around? You can't mean... There's more than one piece of evidence that pointed to a necromancer committing the crime. The defendant murdered the victim and used necromancy to animate her corpse. Yeah, fuck. Dead created within the Imperial Command. How reprehensible. It's ridiculous. She had a hole in her stomach when the twins found her. Jan Hughes would have noticed that. Yeah. Fed is also proficient with illusion magic. He easily used an illusion spell to hide the undead Bellwether's wounds. But another party could have easily used illusion magic to disguise themselves as the victim. If that were true, how did they move the body to the classroom? Fuck. Stealing, if your theory is true, it would mean that the murder occurred elsewhere. But the Inquisition happened to know where. Regrettably, we do not. Then the prosecution case against my client is still faulty. Can't convict my client without more evidence. Yep. These developments, the court sees it fit to suspend the trial for the time being. Give law enforcement time to investigate these unknowns. Court proceedings for this case will resume tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. So, fucking Orm. Messing shit up again. Hey, you're feeling okay. The body's seen moving around an hour after death. Clear wasn't Bellwether, or at the very least, she wasn't alive when this happened. So what was it? Tyrion? There's illusion magic involved. There has to be. But which spell was it? Could have been illusory disguise. Tyrion. What? Quiet since the trial ended. Making me worried. Yeah, sorry. Just thinking about what Steelwind said. You mean about her theory? It's so creepy when you think about it. You think someone turned the professor into an undead? I don't think so. The prosecution's case is hinged on one clear fact. That Wallace was the only high-level necromancer nearby. I have to assume that he's the only person capable of using that type of magic. How was she walking around? Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. It's given that Wallace didn't touch the body, so we can discount the use of high-level necromancy. No matter what, someone used an illusion. Are there spells that can create freestanding illusions, not just disguises? I honestly don't know. We need to talk to someone who knows about that type of magic. Yeah, I was thinking. I was like, people, who do we know whose arcane art is specifically illusion magic, and who has been clearly fucking with the game? It's fucking Eris. She might be able to tell us if something like that is possible. Is that really a good idea? What do you mean? What if she's the one who created the illusion? We need to talk about your fear of her. Because I feel like you know something that I don't, and I'm still afraid of her. What? Any fear from her again? Sister, are you scared of Eris? What? No. Saw it this morning too. You always get really scared when she's around. I was doing a better job of hiding it. Sorry, it's not based on anything real, but for years, I've been working as a mercenary. You do the kind of work, you build up an instinct to sense danger. You kind of have to if you want to stay alive. Sorry, never knew. Tyrion, I fought literal monsters and barely escaped with my life. But when I'm near Eris, none of those creatures even come close. Will come even close. I get this feeling. It's like I'm in front of a predator that I couldn't ever hope to beat. Every instinct I have tells me to run whenever she's close by. Me, but she doesn't seem that dangerous. I think maybe I'm just anxious or something. No, I should know better than anyone not to judge people by their appearance. Sorry, forget I said no. I'm not forgetting any of that. If you think we should talk to her, then we should do that. We are going to talk to her, though. She's always been reliable. And if Eris is making her scared, that must mean something. But if Eris really is that dangerous, then that's all the more reasons to talk to her. Aside from that, there was also something else that the prosecutor said. There's a witness who saw the victim before the body was found, Jan Hughes. He, along with another witness, spotted Bellwether walking in the hallways before the body was found. Thank you. I saw Bellwether walking around. Right, Jan probably is the most reliable witness. So, talking to that other person might help us figure out what happened. I think Steelman will tell us who that witness was. I mean, we could try. I don't think she will. Save your work cut out for you. So where should you start first? Yeah, I would like to save. We are at a graveyard. Yeah, we have like the eerie bad shit's happening music. What are we doing? I'm not sure. For some reason, you felt drawn to this place. Is that Eris? Thus points further into the cemetery. There, You see Era standing in front of a gravestone. She's placing flowers on it and appears to be chanting a short prayer. Well, we found her. More like she wanted me to find her for some specific reason. Should probably talk to her later. It would be rude to disturb her now. She's about to leave. Era suddenly turns to face you. She's far away, but you can see her beckoning you over. Hello there. You looking for me? Yes, we were. We were looking for you. But we understand if you'd rather talk later. No, I was just finishing up here. Did you have something you wanted to talk to me about? Well, I wanted to ask you some questions about the case. Oh? God. Okay. Who? Leslie! Hello! How you doing? Cute person, Leslie. First time watching a court trial. Truly remarkable. I mean, I guess. It's like our second time. You're in the gallery. Yee. How you doing? You doing good? I just enjoyed watching physical battles in the theater. I see now that battles of wit can be just as entertaining to watch. So yeah. I just woke up from a nap. I feel like I still didn't sleep a lot. I mean, yeah, it would be what, like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. around there. Fair. Brain is still not functioning. Yeah, I woke up early. And I was like, I feel like streaming. I don't really feel like playing anything crazy. So I'll just play this game, which is nice and chill. Yeah, I know what you mean. See that the odds are stacked against him. Then he suddenly pulls out this crazy deduction and steers the trial in his favor. I've never really thought of it like that. I'm sure it's far more entertaining to be the one making the deductions. I'm not really sure what you mean. I practice law so I can help those prosecuted by the justice system. I don't really do it to entertain myself. Yeah, 7 p.m. right now for you. Yeah. I think I don't know your specific time zone. I just know that it's the exact opposite of me. I just have to flip the AM to PM. She keeps doing this thing whenever she's on screen, where she makes things freak out and fizzle, and I'm tired of it. I'm going to legitimately look at this goddamn recording. And I am going to see what she just said. Because okay. Justice system. Don't really do it to entertain myself. Is that really true? She's great. I think she's cute, but she keeps doing creepy things. So I see what she said, and I see what she just rewrote. So instead of saying, "Don't you find the experience even the least bit entertaining, Tyrion?" she said, "Don't you find the experience even the least bit entertaining?" And then the name of my computer profile. Which, in hindsight, I'm gonna have to cut that out when I post this. And she does. I can send this to you, Leslie. She did. She did weird, creepy face. Fucking God. I really wouldn't put it that way. You're far too modest to save people from the clutches of death. Dear clients, you might as well be a knight in shining armor. I guess. Illusion magic. Earlier you said that you were studying illusion magic. I am. You wanted to ask me about the prosecution's theory. Yes, actually. How did you know? It's easy to guess after seeing you in the courthouse. Anyways, disguising an undead with an illusion is definitely possible. And as Lady Steele once said, the illusory disguise would be the best spell to use for that. What if someone created a freestanding illusion? A freestanding illusion? Yeah, we know that Wallace didn't animate and disguise the professor's corpse. So what if the illusion wasn't disguising anything? Maybe someone created a freestanding illusion of Bellwether walking around. For something like that, one would probably use major illusion. Oh, also, Leslie, cool art. cool, you drew Kitsu and you in cool art. Good job. Oh, I never played this game. I feel like she would do that kind of thing the moment I saw her. She does give out the vibes. Like in the first case, she showed up in our dreams and was really creepy. Which is why I've Oh yeah, major illusion. Illusion Miluso? None until dispelled. It requires concentration. Three-dimensional illusion. Take the form of any object or creature that can be contained in a 10 feet cube. While concentrating, the caster can animate and move the image to a different location within range. I think the thing I don't like about it, it doesn't say like, no, it says it gives range in the spell, but I would like it if it was one of these. The illusion is purely visual and can't be physically touched. Major illusion. What is it? Yeah, I don't think major illusion is what we're looking for. Why? Do you remember what Jan said? No, I don't. I was cleaning a mess in the hallways. Bellwether knocked over a vase. Ah, so it had to have been physical. It can't have been like a fake thing. If the Bellwether that Jan saw was a major illusion, she couldn't have been knocked over that vase. Illusions created by that spell don't have any mass. Let's see, how perceptive of you. Are there any illusion spells that do have mass? Well, I mean, like once it has mass, is it really an illusion? Yeah, there we go. Illusions can only recreate visual and auditory sensations. Not even... What's the word for nose? The smelly... What about that one? Oh, it's called olfactate. Olfactory. That's what that's called. Learn something new. But there isn't a single illusion spell that someone can touch. So that means that someone disguised something to make it look like Bellwether. Yeah, Celeste is still afraid of her. Why the look of suspicion, Celeste? Sorry, I'm down, I'm only joking. I don't blame you for considering every possibility. In fact, I'm flattered you think I'm capable of pulling off such an elaborate ruse. No. Anyways, this does tell us one important thing. What's that? The Bellwether that Jan saw had a physical mass to it. It wasn't a freestanding illusion, it was someone or something disguised as Bellwether. Right. And yeah, 30 minutes. Knocked over the base. It yelled to be quiet. Whatever this thing was. Walked into the lecture hall to be. Whoever he saw that day was physically there. Alright, gravestone. It's quite a shame, isn't it? Eris looks pensively at the gravestone. The name on the stone says Emily Grant, and her lifetime appears to be awfully short. She must have only been 12 years old when she died. Damn. Sorry for interrupting you. She's someone you knew. Not personally. I'm actually here on Wallace's behalf. Ah. Is this the person that died in that flashback? Joined the Academy as part of a program run by Headmaster Redmond. At the time, the Headmaster was reaching out to mages among the Comet folk. He started a program to admit these mages to the Academy without having to pay tuition. Hey! Helping the downtrodden. Both Emily and Wallace were among those mages. Amazing opportunity for them. The truth is, neither of them actually cared about learning magic. The real problem was that Emily had a terminal illness. She and Wallace were poor orphans, and they obviously didn't have the resources to treat it. But if they enrolled in the Academy would be obligated to give her medical treatment. The Imperial Academy teaches the best mages in the kingdom. They thought that curing her illness would be an easy task for the Academy's healers. But they were mistaken, I'm afraid. I'm sure you know this by now, but healing spells can only treat wounds. They can't cure illnesses, yeah. Which is why Wallace is going on this, like, whole thing. Emily's condition only got worse over the years, and eventually, she succumbed to her illness. Wallace was furious. He didn't understand why the kingdom was outlawing magic that could save lives. And it's like, yeah, we can... One of the Steel Winds can cast meteors from the sky, but we can't cure an illness? Crazy. That's why he decided to learn it himself. Yep. Inspired by Wallace's resolve. Give him access to the Academy's forbidden tomes of necromancy, and Wallace taught himself the spells that he knows today. So, that's why. It was supposed to stay a secret between him and the headmaster. She did it again. But I'm sure you know how that turned out. I'm checking the tapes again. We're looking at that. What did you say this time? Come on. But I'm sure you know how that turned out. Okay, she didn't change the text. She just made a really creepy face. And for some reason the players I want to screen cap that. God. I'm just gonna. Well, no, I can send that to you too. I'm sorry that I'm using our DMs to store images, but it's easier this way. Gosh, I feel like my brain is slowly functioning back again. Hey, you gotta do your assignments now. Oh, okay. You know anything about this? Can I tell you everything you need to get through this case? What would be the fun in that? Okay. Fucking get away from her, literally immediately. For the love of God. Stay away from me. We need the library. Here we go. So, it's you, Mr. Cuthbert. You still call me Mr. I do not call you Mrs. or Lady. Or Ms. or Lady. Assume you're not married. Yeah, what are you doing here? What happened at the trial yesterday, I decided it would be best to start my investigation here. Right. Wallace was in the library for the entire morning. So, it would make sense that she'd start her search here. Actually, since I have you here, have you seen Eris Illmatter anywhere? She was at the graveyard. She's creepy, stay away from her. I wouldn't recommend it. I was quite sleepy, but I also super already. Ah, I see. Oop. Back to this. But yeah, no, she's in the graveyard. You're both acquainted with each other. Yeah. What do you want with her? It's not for anything serious, mind you. It's that oaf of a commander lost her spell compendium. Now we need her to produce another one for... Yeah, he definitely lost it and wasn't somehow tricked. If you see her, please let her know that we'd like to speak to her. Saw her earlier in the cemetery nearby, but I have no idea where she is now. Ugh. It's again, I have to compensate for that idiot's mistakes. Anyways, I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about the case. Very well. I suppose I still need to honor our deal from earlier. Have you had any luck finding the scene of the crime? So I just fell asleep in the mid. Woke up in the mid of that nap and managed to finish it. And then I passed out, continued napping. Now I woke up. You have had quite a fun day. I wish I could do that, Leslie. But well, I hope. Well, I mean, consider that you passed out. I guess you had a lot of fun. I hope you thought or saw something very nice. If you hadn't looked like seen the crime, like I don't think. Yeah, no, I didn't do anything yesterday. Considering that I ended stream. So I was like, I literally don't feel like it. I have not. The balls are indeed full. Fortunately, I haven't. What is the testimonies? We have a rough idea. The route Bellwether took. None of the rooms we checked have any sign of a struggle. Are you so sure that a struggle happened? Well, I mean, well, how confident in combat was she? If she got attacked, like, I think there would be, like, some sort of something. You're only basing that off the Yana sister's testimonies. Valerie, in particular, noticed that the bleeding came from a wound in her stomach, which means she would have been attacked from the front. Hey, the body's wounds were mended. So we can't determine what kind of weapon the murderer used. There's still that scene of her taking that noble's rapier. So I don't know how much I believe that. During the trial, you mentioned that another witness saw Bellwether walking around yesterday. Would you be willing to tell us who that person is? I'm sorry, but I can't tell you that. You're caught a little off guard. We are? Yeah, she's been pretty transparent, but like I feel like it was kind of a given that she wouldn't give this one to us. What's changed? I have no obligation to justify myself to you. Nor have obligation to help the opposition. We have a deal. Hiding information doesn't exactly seem fair to us. I believe I've given you plenty of information already. So regardless of what I said before, the answer is still no. Her family is dangerous. It's a stray thought from her. Family is dangerous. What does that mean? Is there something about this witness's family that you're worried about? We are not subtle at all about using this goddamn eye. No, this could be a feint. I'm sorry. You'll have to try harder than that if you want to bluff me. She referred to the witness as her. Furthermore, she said that her family is dangerous. Why would she go to such lengths to hide the witness's identity? In any case, it looks like she's not willing to share more at the moment. Maybe she's trying looking somewhere else. Okay. Why is the locker room now a thing? You spent some time wandering through the academy when you overhear a conversation from a nearby room. Ah, it's the headmaster. If I understand, Miss Steelwind has already moved the investigation elsewhere. How long must I wait before I can retrieve my things? Sorry, old-timer. Orders are orders. Nothing comes in or out till this case is over and done with. Commander White. The headmaster too? Oh. Hello, Mr. Cuthbert. Hey, kid. In any case, there are other matters I must attend to. Please inform me when I can reclaim my things. Sure. There he goes. Looks like Commander White is standing guard in front of this locker room. And it doesn't look like he's conducting any sort of investigation. Is he here on Steelwind's orders? He might be able to tell you who this secret witness is. So what's the deal here? Supposedly, he has some items stored in one of the faculty lockers. The problem is, Steelwind said no one gets in or out of this room. Except for her and you two, apparently. She won't even let the other knights in here. What is going on the other side of this? Really? Is that normal? It's definitely not. Nope, but things are railing when she's calling the shots. Why would she give you access to the crime scene if she wasn't even letting the knights in? Yeah. She appears to be conducting the investigation single-handedly. I don't know what her deal is, but she's been acting strange lately. She's been real paranoid, that girl. Frankly, I can't tell what's going through her head. You mentioned that the prosecutor has been paranoid lately. Do you think it has something to do with this case? Nah, started way before that. Lately, she's been using the Inquisition to investigate a lot of non-magical homicides. But wouldn't it be easy to work with the relevant law enforcement for that? I don't know why, but she's convinced that these cases have magic involved. We scanned each and every one of those crime scenes, nothing turned up. Gotta say, though, if it were for the scans, I might actually agree with her. Why do you say that? Those homicides. I haven't ever seen anything like them. They're probably some of the most screwed up cases I've ever handled. For one of those cases, we had ourselves a disgruntled spouse. She found out that her man was going around with a barkeep. You know what the spouse does? She stalks the poor woman. She starts leaving threatening notes all over where she worked. The barkeep told the city watch all about what was happening, but no matter how much they staked out the tavern, they could never catch the perp. Then one day, the barkeep arrived home. Little did you know, the spouse was there waiting for her. Poor lady never had a chance. Damn. So to tie the whole thing together, the spouse waits for her husband to get home. She cooks him a big roast, using the barkeep's okay. See, this seems like something that would be in one of those puzzle games that I see you play, Leslie. Cooking people's body. You can't just cat face that. Possible explanation. Oh, that story is pretty... I know. Steelwind thinks someone's developed a new type of magic that can control people's minds. And these homicides for some kind of sick test run. Magic that can control people's minds. But wouldn't Mage Blight make more sense? Right, Mage Blight is the mages who cast too much magic go crazy. When a mage overuses their magic can have pretty bad consequences on their minds. Temporarily lose grip of reality, begin seeing things that aren't there. Now that's the evil cat face. I see. Thank you. That fits. When a mage becomes like that, it almost never ends well. After a frenzy, begin firing spells randomly, which only makes it worse. I've seen my fair share of Mage Blight cases, and this isn't like that. Not all of the perps were mages, and the ones that were didn't even use their magic. One thing was that each of the perps almost seemed to wake up after we arrested them. All of them said things like, "It wasn't me," or "I didn't have a choice." Didn't have a choice, what could that mean? I doubt it means that you live in a fantastical world with magic and shit. You have to look for meaning in things like this, Orm. This is why you're gonna lose your job, I swear. Sometimes people can't face the things they've done. It's easier to say that you had no control than to take responsibility. Yeah, that also happens, but like, Wonder if you can mislead the commander into revealing who the secret witness is. Isn't it someone other than Jan Hughes saw Bellwether walking around? We've seen them around lately. We wanted to speak with them. His ass is not... You know what? Hold on. I want to use this for thumbnail. He is very much like... He... Dude. Oh, well, I missed it. Damn. I'll get it afterwards, I guess. Nice try, kid. Well, it was worth a shot. Honestly, I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. I don't think anyone other than Steelwind knows who this witness is. I sure as hell don't. She's even hiding it from the Inquisition commander. Why is she being so secretive? Looks like the commander doesn't know who this secret witness is either. Just getting us anywhere. Steelwind's behavior is strange, though. You could try analyzing her behavior. Ooh. You'd be able to find a way to convince her to help you. Steelwind's behavior has been strange this time around. She's hiding elements of the case, even from the commander. Anyone can tell that she doesn't have much faith in him. I'm standing right here. That was mad disrespectful. Sorry, man. This is the first time I've seen her hide key details of the case from him. What is motivating Steelwind to keep secrets? Has to be a reason why she's being so secretive. I mean, paranoia's like, that's what it feels like. Actions must be driven by paranoia. She's been hoarding information about the case. There's only one reason why she wouldn't utilize the Inquisition like she usually does. It's because she doesn't trust them. I hate to say it, but that doesn't really surprise me. She's always been standoffish with us, but there is one exception. Who is Steelwind trusted for this case? Us. For some reason. Tyrion and Celeste. She let us investigate the crime scenes without any restrictions. Never really thought about that. Does she trust us that much? I don't think personal trust is the reason. We don't usually interact with her. Why does Steelwind trust us this time? I actually don't really. Why does Steelwind trust us this time? We don't usually interact with her, and she's worked with the Inquisition on plenty of cases that we weren't even involved in. She doesn't trust the Inquisition, but she trusts us. What's the difference between us and the Inquisition? So it would be Tyrion. So there's something about us. Is or isn't. A member of an employee controlled by, capable of, Inquisition ability using magic. So isn't. So like straight off the bat. Because like none of these apply. So Tyrion isn't. Controlled by? Because the Inquisition is controlled by the nobility, kind of. Like most of the. I think Orm said it way back. Most of the magical crimes that are committed by the nobility, the Inquisition's job is just kind of to. It's usually to just hide it, cover stuff up, and then move on. They rarely get to actually prosecute mages, which is one of the reasons why he's joined the Inquisition. Because like the few times he does get to, he doesn't like mages, and so the few times he does get to prosecute them, it brings him joy. So I think it's this. Yeah. Steelwind doesn't know much about us, but she does know that we aren't prone to noble corruption. You indicted a noble during the last case. Meanwhile, the Inquisition usually bends the nobility's whims. Well, I can't argue with you there. What can you infer about the secret witness? Using my insight, I could tell that she's worried about the witness's family. If she's worried about corruption from the nobility, that can only mean one thing. The witness is a noble. The witness has to belong to a noble family. That's why she's so wary of interference. But we're obviously not going to do anything corrupt. Why is she hiding the witness's identity from us? Regardless of what I said before, the answer is still no. Her family is dangerous. That's why. She's worried about our safety. Yeah, I guess harassing a noble could put you in danger. But I'm the protege of the infamous Ruby Timora. Yeah, it's not as if we aren't already on the nobility's bad side. I'm sure the Pierce family still has it out for us. This can only mean that the family we're dealing with is even more powerful than House Pierce. If the prosecutor is wary of them, they could even be as powerful as the Steelwinds. I thought we were dealing with one of the 4 pillars. There's always 4 pillars. Same people used for the top 4 noble houses. This family stand at the top of the kingdom's aristocracy. Calling the houses are House Freyga, House Von Sanctus, House Sybil, and House Steelwind. Steelwind's, yeah, Steelwind's a part of one of them. Which makes it so much weirder that she's serving as a prosecutor. I see. She could be doing much grander things. And being a prosecutor is a very strange profession for someone of her status. What is it? Steelwind's weird behavior all started after she investigated this room. We were at the crime scene and she left to follow a lead, but an hour later she came back to the lecture hall and booted everyone out. Behavior changed after investigating this room. I mean, she found something here. That something must point to the family, the 4 pillars. Yeah, he's curious too. You know, Steelwind's orders say I can't snoop around here. But you two, on the other hand, don't worry. Just leave it to us. I have some school records that say which locker belongs to which student. You can use it to tell whose locker you're looking at. Did you give them to us? Okay, you didn't really give us anything. Okay. It's an arcane construct in the back here. It's probably here to aid the students. I think it's relevant to our investigation. Perhaps you should make a small note of it anyways, which means it's gonna come up. In these games, they never make note of things that never come up. Everything comes up at least once for some purpose. So noted. Use the legend the commander gave you. Carefully cross the list and find some notable student names. So yeah, like, there's Wallace's. It's Freyga, Sanctus, Sybil. So one of these guys. Start with Wallace, I guess. Okay. Inside you find a bottle of fragrant liquid and something that looks like a makeup kit. Does Wallace put on makeup? Guess Wallace use stuff like this. It does seem strange, but it's not your place to judge. Exactly. It's fucking Pride Month, Tyrion. Anyways, you should try looking through the other lockers. Use the legend that the commander gave you. Look carefully across the list and find some notable student names. Miriam Freyga. Open the locker with Miriam Freyga's ID number. Inside you find a stack of worn-out textbooks and notebooks. Okay. These notebooks all have Wallace's name. What? Open the notebook and look through its pages. Appears to be research on the art of necro. Oh, did they... Fuck, they did say that they switched the nameplates sometimes to tease him. Is that what happens? These are Wallace's notebooks, but why are they in Miriam Freyga's locker? Did Miriam steal his things? No. Tyrion, take a look at this. That's blood. Oh no. That's not. This isn't Miriam Frega's. This is Wallace's. Because he said that they switch the nameplates on the locker sometimes to tease him. You use the legend that the commander gave you. Carefully across the list and find some options. Yeah, so Jaden Von Sanctus. Find several bottles of some kind of transparent lotion. Lube? What? No. Why do I assume we need this much lotion? Dot dot dot. Take one of the bottles and inspect it more closely. Wait, you touch this with your hands? It's some kind of sanitizing liquid. It's all strange, but it seems related to the case. Carefully across the list to find some. I wonder what that's about. Lauren Sybil. Inside, you find some textbooks and a neatly stacked deck of tarot cards. So those cards that fortune tellers use. I wonder if the student studies divination magic. Wait, I don't think this is related to the case. Use the legend. Yeah, okay. I found a few things. I can't really make sense of any of it. We should look at this from the prosecutor's perspective. Steelman found something in one of the lockers. Whatever that was, it made her extremely paranoid. It was Frega's. Well, it's Wallace's, but it says Frega on it. Found some insanely suspicious things in Frega's locker. And Wallace's notebooks, and even some blood. That blood is certainly strange. Plus, something bloody was stored there. Do you think someone stole it? No, actually. I think it was Steelwind who took it. I was taking the bloody items. Oh, the rapier was the bloody evidence. I said there's something else that's strange about me and Franco's locker. I had a lot of Wallace's possessions. It's possible that she really did steal these items from him, but it's more likely that this locker isn't actually hers. Remember what Wallace told us before? Sometimes the other students would steal the ID number off my locker, and they'd switch it with the number of another locker. I thought it was funny whenever the student who owned that locker got angry with me. So someone switched the nameplates. Yep. This means that this isn't Miriam Frega's locker, it's Wallace's. It came from Wallace's locker, and it appears so. God damn it. That's true, why didn't Steelman present the bloody item during the trial? Because the rapier likely belongs... Well, it does, we saw it. It belongs to that girl that looks like Weiss. And she doesn't want to, you know, have another member of such major nobility stand in trial. She's trying to finish it without calling her up, which obviously means that we need to call her up. I proved that Bellwether was wounded before Valerie healed her. Wouldn't that have been the perfect time to present what she found? Yeah. It's a bloody item found in the defendant's locker, after all. She could have easily proved that the nameplates were switched too. Right, that is weird. Similar to you're seeing, but what? We'll just have to ask Steelwind ourselves. Thanks, Orm. You're still incompetent, but you know. Thanks for that one. She's in the library. Here she is. Oh, you're back. We've covered a few things during our investigation. Miss Steelwind, are you acquainted with a student named Miriam Frega? I underestimated him. Yeah, you did. One second, let me take a drink.
said it before, Mr. Cuthbert. I won't bail for such an obvious bluff. It's not a bluff, Miss Steelwind. I'll prove it using the evidence we've gathered. I mean, we haven't had to build up anyone's psychological profile. They just kind of give it to us, don't they? Alright. Argument. The secret witness. Steelwind is paranoid, and for whatever reason, it's due to the involvement of Miriam Frege. If you could convince her to reveal why she's being so secretive, she might give you more information. Start an argument? Yes. Lock in. You've been behaving strangely, Steelwind. Even the Knights of the Inquisition have noticed. Please just tell me, why are you being so paranoid? Not sure what you're trying to imply, Mr. Cuthbert. Okay, we'll check that in a sec. Nothing about my behavior, that's such cap. I've approached this case objectively, just like I have with every other case. Extremely logical and won't accept arguments that aren't supported by evidence. However, she's become secretive lately and her actions seem to stem from paranoia. She's uneasy about case elements that relate to Miriam Frege. She's very inclined to hide Frege's involvement from the court at all costs. Your orders. You've ordered the Knights to stay away from the crime scene. And you've even taken it upon yourself to conduct the investigation yourself. That is not normal behavior for a prosecutor. I took those actions because the Inquisition is incompetent. How could I possibly trust them with anything? The Knights are incompetent, but even you can see the value of delegation. During Celeste's case, you still delegated tasks to the Inquisition, and you could have easily investigated the McCoy Tavern yourself. This academy is huge. You wouldn't conduct your investigation this way unless you had a good reason. Why don't you enlighten me? Why would I act in such a way? What would cause me to behave so strangely? I mean, the four pillar families, right? There's nothing else here that literally makes any sense. You know the Inquisition is corrupt and will bend to the nobility. So what would happen if a powerful noble were publicly involved in this case? With that noble's influence, they'd probably order the Inquisition to conceal their involvement. A high-profile noble is involved in this case, Steelwind. And I believe that noble is Miriam Frege. Again with this, do you think you can bluff me by throwing out the names of random nobles? Not every noble is a malevolent criminal like Garrick Pierce. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. My investigation doesn't involve the Freges. Nothing about this case has anything to do with House Frege. Again, Cap. Evidence in the locker. How do you explain this, Steelwind? The commander told us that you were following a lead in the locker room yesterday. We investigated the lockers of students from the four pillar families. We found stains of blood in a locker with Miriam Frege's ID number, and it was presumably left by a bloody object. The bloody object was taken by someone, and we heard that you became extremely paranoid after you found something in the locker room. If I had to guess, I'd say that you took the bloody object as evidence. What evidence do you have to support these outrageous claims? What? The only thing you have is evidence of a bloodstain. There's a myriad of explanations for that. Everything else you mentioned is pure speculation. You can't prove that piece of evidence exists. I could have found any number of things in that room, or possibly nothing at all. Yeah, she won't take... That's not gonna appeal to her. She's a little more cold and logical. You can't prove that piece of evidence. Oh, need to use the bathroom real quick, BRB. Oh yeah, Leslie. If you don't present what you found at the court, I'll have no choice but to pull the owner of that locker onto the stand. She really doesn't want that. She doesn't want them involved in any case. What she wants is extremely logical and won't accept that are supported by evidence. But if she's logical, then obviously it would make more sense to rationalize with her. Right? Ah, fuck, that wasn't it. Still, it was the most notable thing in the room. How are you so sure? You weren't there with me during my investigation. As I said, any number of things could have happened to change my behavior. She's playing devil's advocate. Okay, I'll just threaten you then. That was it. You found an object in the locker room with Miriam Frega's nameplate on it. If you don't present what you found to the court, I'll have no choice but to pull the owner of that locker onto the stand. That's ridiculous. We both know that the locker in question belongs to Wallace Nightgrave. Can you unequivocally prove that, Miss Steelwind? Because the way I see it, there's a lot of room for doubt there. Enough doubt for me to pull Miss Frege onto the witness stand. But if I had more context, maybe I wouldn't have to resort to that. Got him. Well played, Mr. Cuthbert. Thank you. Suppose I don't have a choice, do I? I've successfully persuaded Arya Steelwind. The truth. Just so we're clear, how was the action to protect the nobility? Well, I'll admit that Miriam Frege was the other witness that saw Bellwether that day. Let's see, I had some suspicions, but there's also another matter. Steelwind looks uneasy. When I was investigating the body, I found this. Evidence of academic dishonesty. Oh boy. Academic misconduct. Did you use ChatGPT in your assignment, Frege? Multiple instances of plagiarism, fraud, bribery of school officials, and various other offenses committed by Miriam Frege. What the? Looks like Miriam's been cheating at school. Why would Bellwether have something like this? The way it's arranged, I think it might have been blackmail. Miriam Frege is considered a prodigy in the practice of conjuration magic. She's won a litany of awards, and she will most definitely graduate with honors. If these files would reach the public, it would absolutely ruin her reputation. Do you think that the professor was trying to threaten her? It appears so. When I discovered this, several elements of the case were still unknown. I decided to look through her belongings. And I mistakenly looked through the locker with her ID. I found this in that locker. Bloody rapier, there it is. Rapier covered in blood. It's found in Wallace Nightgrave's locker. Apparently it's a valuable family heirloom to House Frege. It was reported stolen by Miriam Frege weeks before the murder. It's very likely that this is the murder weapon. This rapier is a valuable family heirloom for House Frege. And a few weeks ago, Miriam reported that the rapier was stolen from her room. That it was found in Wallace's locker. Not that I'm complaining. Why didn't you present this in court? To be honest, I like to avoid involving House Frege by any means necessary. Yep, you're just protecting her, aren't you? Ms. McCoy, do you recall how Wyverngard's justice system works? To acquit a defendant, you need to unequivocally prove that they didn't commit the crime. To do that, they either need a solid alibi, or we need to prove that someone else committed the crime. What do you suppose will happen if you bring Miriam Frege onto the stand? House Frege won't allow one of its members to be indicted in a court of law. They'll plan to forge evidence to implicate your defendant, and they'll use the Inquisition to do so. So that's why you've been keeping them away from the investigation. Can't you do anything? Steel ones are powerful too, aren't they? Oh yeah, there's probably some family shit there. This is the look she's giving us. I don't have the support of my house. There it is. Right now, I'm just a prosecutor. Nothing more. Steelwind, you know that this isn't fair for us. Just do nothing. Do nothing and let us win. Celeste. If you can't go after Miriam, then you can at least help us save Wallace. I'm not going to do that. Why? What if Miriam Frege is the real killer? Her sword is the murder weapon and Bellwether was trying to blackmail her. I seem to recall another case where an innocent person's sword was used to frame them. Yeah. Hold your horses, Celeste. As a prosecutor, it is not my place to decide who's guilty and who's not. I won't engage in corruption, even if it's counter-corruption from another noble house. I'm sorry. Do you know where Miriam is right now? Did you hear what I just said? You can't let her think there's even the slightest possibility you'll indict her. So bring the entire wrath of House Freya down on you. Regardless, I can't do anything for Wallace unless I know everything that happened. Freya has the last piece I need to put everything together. I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? The dormitory is room 107. I imagine that she'll be there, considering that the classes are suspended. Thank you, Steelwind. If I don't tell you, I'm sure you'll probably just find out using some other means. But please, Mr. Cuthbert, be careful. Okay. Let's go talk to Dorm Room 107. Well, isn't this